So June 6th was truly a somber day for those of us in Windsor. We lost an iconic, cherished landmark in our downtown. As one local resident said, it feels like I am grieving a longtime dear friend. The Downtown Development Authority and the Windsor Downtown were looking forward to what was going to arise out of the tornado rubble, a new gemstone in our downtown. After spending time with the property owners, Blue Ocean and the Richardsons, I am optimistic and I have hope that this project will continue and will move forward as soon as feasibly possible. We give thanks for this opportunity to have developers of this magnitude and caliber who care so much not only about this project, but about the town that they were joining. I want to give thanks to the first responders and to community partners who came onto the call and helped in this emergency situation. It is due to the due diligence of the Windsor Severance Fire and Rescue Team and our partners in our neighboring communities that helped confine the situation and mitigated the surrounding opportunity so that it did not go any further, and limited damages, and we had no casualties or any injuries to date. Today we want to welcome the ATF, and we share with them the welcome to join us in the investigation, and this is an important investigation for us and for our community. We welcome them to our community, and we hope that they and want to ensure that they will find the cause and the origin of this fire. The town is committed and will be on site and willing to help in any way possible to make sure that this will be a thorough and a successful and completed investigation. Thank you to the ATF for coming and helping Windsor. Oh, sure. Sure.
Can you spell your first and last name for us, please?
First name is Christie, K-R-I-S-T-I-E. Last name Melendez, M-E-L-E-N-D-E-Z.
Thank you. You mentioned that they're going to continue the project. What does that look like, and what does that mean?
We don't know at this time, other than we do have a commitment from the property owners that they are going to stay diligent, and they intend to continue with the project in some demeanor. Some of that we won't know until after the investigation is completed and done and insurances come, exactly what that will mean or what that will look like. But they do intend to move on with the project in some demeanor.
For those unfamiliar with Windsor and what this mill meant to the town, can you kind of sum up what it meant?
The mill is truly a testament to what we all love and cherish about our community. It represents our history, our agricultural roots, and it represents to all of us who live here those who came before us. And that's very important to those of us in our community, is preserving the history that we have here. I'm a fourth generation Windsor resident who raised a fifth generation here, so my ties to this community and to this mill go back a long way.
How did you react to the news?
I was shocked and I was deeply saddened. We were looking forward to the project that was about to happen. We were just months away from the completion of the project.
Personally, I know I'm sure you heard when you came and first saw what it looked like. What's your reaction?
I couldn't believe the total devastation and how swiftly it was taken. By the time I arrived on the scene, it looked much like it does now. It was completely gone. So I can't express how deeply saddened I am to have lost this piece of history for our town and our community.
How much redevelopment money has gone into the project?
The total project had a development of about $9.3 million attached to it in total.
Any taxpayer dollars?
The town and the Downtown Development Authority were going to invest about $3.3 million into the project.
And that money's still
available that wasn't already
That
put into it?
that money, yes, none of that money had been dispersed to date, so that money will still be pending moving forward.
What was the excitement with the new building opening up? When was it supposed to open, and the excitement?
We were hoping to have an opening date either the end of this year or early in 2018. So, and I think the anticipation is again, it was our last piece that was damaged by the tornado that was going to be renovated. So we were looking forward to, it was going to be the catalyst to the development of our downtown. And it was going to be a new entryway into the, offer a new exciting entryway into the downtown. And everybody in the downtown, including all the other businesses, were very excited and remain very excited and optimistic about this project coming.
How does your reaction to this unfortunate fire maybe compare to what happened in 2008? Unfortunately, the mill has seen a little bit of destruction from two different types of disasters, if you will. What's the reaction when you see how much has either fallen down and been destroyed versus what happened in 2008?
Well, I think similarly, I think there's a sadness because we've lost a very key component. In this instance, at least with the in the tornado, we still had some of the building remaining, so there was some optimism that something could occur. In this case, we've seen, I think, even further, destruction of our very important piece of our history that has gone. I think we've been fortunate in both cases, in both emergencies, that we have sustained no, severe casualties or deaths related to either of those. Anything?
It took almost a decade for this final piece that you were almost getting the damage fully repaired after the tornado. Do you think it's going to take another decade?
After speaking with the property owners, they are committed. They remain committed to this project. I think that this community and, in the Downtown Development Authority is very fortunate, like I said, that we have partners of this magnitude. They remain committed, and my understanding is as soon as they are able, they intend to move forward with this project. So I don't think we're looking at another decade.
What are you realistically looking at? Another year or two?
We have to get through the investigation, and they have to get through the process. But their commitment to this project is, as soon as they are able, they intend to get started again with the project. And then, so I don't know what that means or what that time will tell.
Is it significant that, I know obviously a lot of the building is destroyed, but that this is still standing, that this is does that give you some hope?
Well, that's the good news, that we still do have a piece of that, and whether or not that still will be usable will remain to be seen until the investigation is completed. But I think that is a testament to the endurance of this building, and I think it is also a testament to this community. We were resilient in our last tornado, during the tornado, and I think that we will arise again during this emergency as well.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, Mayor. Really appreciate it.
This is really low. Needs to adjust.
And the microphone adjuster.
Okay, there we go. Is that good? Good morning. My name's Todd Vess. I'm with Windsor Severance Fire Rescue, and we called the ATF in on this to help us with this investigation early on. We knew the size and the scope of this would overwhelm our resources. As you can see from the rubble, this is not something we could really accomplish on a local level. We've worked with them in the past. They're great partners, so this is going to be a great way for us to get this investigation completed. And we'd really like to thank them for coming out. We'd also like to thank just the community for their support with the road closures, the continuing smoke. The building is going to continue to smolder until we can get it throughout the investigation, because there's 2 floors below what you can see that still have fire in them. So thank you for putting up with the smoke. The local businesses as well, especially. There's some businesses that are directly impacted with this. We've been working with them to get them reopened or get them back to business as normal as soon as we possibly can. So again, we'd like to thank everyone who came out that night, all of our responding agencies, as far as fire, police, everybody involved in that, the public works. It was a great effort. So with that, I'd like to introduce Terry Henderson. He's the Assistant Special Agent in charge with the ATF. And so, Terry?
Good morning. ATF is pleased to be here in the town of Windsor to assist based on a request from the Windsor Fire and Rescue and the Windsor Police Department. Members of our national response team arrived on scene yesterday. Over the coming days, they will be working to conduct a systematic, methodical, and thorough examination of the fire scene, looking for the origin and cause of the fire. Simultaneously, an investigative component will be conducting interviews and gathering additional evidence related to the investigation. Our national response team was formed in 1978 as a comprehensive and sustained way to provide resources and to deploy to large-scale fire and explosive incidents. The national response team is comprised of veteran senior special agents, highly trained, such as certified fire investigators, certified explosive specialists, explosive enforcement officers, ATF trained accelerant and explosive detection canines, personnel from our forensic science laboratories, fire protection engineers and electrical engineers from our fire research laboratory, as well as forensic auditors and intel research specialists. We anticipate being on scene for multiple days, and we will stay until the scene is concluded and the investigation is progressed to a point that it can be, any follow-up needed can be further done by the Denver Field Division. We know that a significant fire such as this in the community is a significant loss, and ATF is committed to work hand in hand with our local partners to bring this to a successful conclusion. And I'll be glad to answer any questions if I can.
What are the biggest challenges you face when trying to find the cause of the fire in the scope?
Well, as you can see, this is a fairly large scene. It just takes time and resources. There's a lot of issues that can occur. It's a hazardous environment, or at least a hazardous environment for the folks that are going in there, so we have to take our time. But we will methodically and systematically go through this entire scene to we ensure we've uncovered every piece of evidence that's possible.
Can you talk about that process, though, when you, to her point, come into a scope or you've seen this magnitude? What's kind of the first step? I mean, do you start looking from above? Do you kind of work from your outside in? Especially something like this that is so historical, and they're hoping to preserve at least some things, right?
Correct. What will occur is that the investigators will start from the exterior, from the least damage to the most, 360 degrees, all the way around the building. Okay?
What do you guys bring that the local people didn't have? What about the things you're bringing to this?
The list that I just went through, plus we have a fleet of response vehicles that are fully equipped to handle a scene of this size. Our accelerant trained detection canines. We bring people from our laboratories that are here on site to assist us with any evidence collection that may occur. We also bring those fire protection engineers and electrical engineers to help us examine those components of the scene. And we also have agents specially trained in forensic mapping to be able to map and document the scene. And then we bring in those agents, additional agents, to conduct the interviews and the follow-up investigation.
We're only 48 hours in, or a little more, into this investigation, I understand, but is there any way to determine just yet if this was accidental, intentional? I mean, is there a way to try to have an idea of the cause at this point?
We start these investigations with no preconceptions. We will go where the evidence leads us. It's way too early. We're just getting started. As you can see, it will take days for us to get through this fire scene.
I know this has already been addressed, but I think when people hear the ATF, they think immediately something happened here, something criminal. They know that's not the case. You're just being brought in for resources. Can you just kind of explain that?
Yes, we deploy our national response team, and ATF's committed to helping our state and local partners on these large fire scenes or explosion scenes anytime that they need additional resources. We're a primary federal agency in the U.S. Department of Justice that is challenged with conducting these investigations, and we'll bring those resources necessary to bring this to a successful conclusion, whatever that conclusion may be.
Can you give us a better idea of what is the work that they're doing? It sounds like they're very specialized, and that's why they're brought in, because they have expertise that the local community doesn't have. Can you talk a little bit about that so we can understand?
Yes, our certified fire investigators go through a 2-year-long rigorous training program to become certified fire investigators. Right now, what they're doing is evaluating the scene, and they will continue to do so, looking from the least damage to the most. Right now, we're trying to mitigate some safety issues. Once those are mitigated, then we'll start the actual process of going through the entire scene.
What do you mean mitigate safety issues?
Well, as you can see, there's a lot of debris around. We have to move that equipment, and we have to move specific pieces to be able to move other pieces in a systematic manner so that we can look at the scene and examine.
Do you have a timeline of
We have investigators in the scene now. The scene is 360 degrees all the way around the building.
Do you take any extra precautions, or is there anything you can do when you're dealing with a building like this that is so historic and beloved by the community?
On all these scenes, we're always cognizant to try to save as much as possible. The only thing that we mitigate is if there is a safety issue for our agents. We certainly don't want a wall or a piece of metal or a beam to fall and injure one of the responders that are inside conducting the investigation.
Can you talk about, I know, because as people drive by, see this on the news later today, the fact that it's still smoldering, what's being done to either prevent that from spreading, you know, when we might have lightning storms or whatever it may be, that this could potentially spark again? I mean, just talk about what's being done to keep the community safe when this is still semi-active, right?
Certainly. And I will let you speak to the fire side of that.
So obviously, as you see, the scene is large. We're working closely with the ATF because we have to pick this apart a little bit at a time. The analogy is it's like a haystack. You know, when a haystack catches on fire, we have to tear it apart to get in there to get the insides where it's really burning. So there's a lot of fires we just can't get to with aerial devices, with master streams, any of that type of stuff, hand lines, and it's just too dangerous to put firefighters in there right now. So as you can see, the cranes that are here are going to start picking that apart. We'll go in, we'll put out fire, working with the investigation team, you know, to start getting that fire put out without destroying any of the evidence or any of the scene. It's a process.
Is this something where either your crews or ATF crews will be monitoring it 24/7 to keep an eye on those things?
Yes, we've been out here 24/7 since the fire. We have crews on scene the whole time. Every few hours we have to get out, put some more water on it, it gets bigger. The biggest thing we're trying to do is keep the smoke down. The smoke is obviously impacting some local businesses and residents. So that's our big thing right now. Nothing else is going to get hurt by the fire, really. So we're not so much concerned about getting that out. We're concerned about not messing up the investigation.
And can you talk too then about that, about the spread of this fire? I know that there was some debris, as we can see, on the nearby complex there, and I think I overheard you saying there was debris found, what, almost a mile away?
Yeah, there was debris that did go about 3/4 of a mile across the lake to some of the homes in there. Real lightweight debris. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Almost looked like an insulation type stuff or foam. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we did have, some of the local businesses and homes were covered in it. It was a very large fire. You've all seen the videos. So there was a lot of fire going on at that time. A lot of energy.
As mentioned earlier, you stated that there could be an explosion or there could be a fire, and that's what caused the ATF. Is there a chance that it was an explosion?
Well, there's always a chance there's an explosion, but we don't know. That's the thing. Like Agent Henderson said, this is a blank slate. We have no idea. There was so many variables in this building. It was under renovation. It's an old building with some new construction. There's just so many variables that we don't even begin to speculate on that.
At this point, there hasn't been any calls or anything coming in saying you heard the explosion and
No, I mean there were some mini explosions during the fire, but that could be, you know, anything from construction stuff that was on site. That's not unusual in any fire.
I have to assume because it's being redeveloped that added to how quickly this can have inflamed. You've got stuff that's not fully finished and.
You know, it could be a factor. We don't know. That's what the investigation's going to determine.
Is there a health hazard with this smoke?
You know, it's just like with any other fire with, you know, people with asthma, we're asked them to take precautions. It's tending to, you know, the predominant winds have been drifting it right down Main Street across the neighborhoods. It shifts, you know, so people, you know, if they have, you know, medical conditions, just stay indoors if it's coming towards your house. The wind's shifting. We're trying to keep it mitigated as much as we can.
So you're not concerned necessarily about any products that might have been in there that were destroyed by the fire that might now be in the
Well, yeah, depending on what's in it, but one of the advantages or one of the nice things about this fire, I guess, is it's old construction. It's not, you know, it's the new stuff that's made out of oils and like our modern synthetics. This was an old building, so it's mostly wood that you know, you're smelling burning.
Right. I know you don't have an exact time limit, but are we talking months, weeks?
For the
For
investigation?
this to close off the investigation, I mean, how long?
I anticipate that the National Response Team will be on scene at least the next several days, potentially through the weekend. It all depends on just how well we progress. Okay. And as far as the investigation is concerned, it takes as long as it takes to do the thorough job that we need to do to bring this to a conclusion.
In your experience, can that be really quick? I mean, how long have you, I mean, I know you can't speculate, but you guys do this often.
Yes, it just all depends upon the circumstances surrounding each incident. Some of them can be closed out fairly quickly. Others continue for a long time.
How confident are you that you guys will come up with some sort of answers?
We will do everything that we can to come to a conclusion in what occurred here.
Can you spell your first and last name for me?
Yes, my first name is Terry, Terry. My last name is Henderson, Henderson.